Hey everybody, good Monday morning. EDGYTIM coming to you from the headquarters. And again, this is something you're going to start seeing. Well, if it's up to me, every Monday I will come out and kind of give a weekend thoughts. Obviously, with the weather, hopefully, knock on wood, improving and things continuing to warm up as we get closer to actual spring. There'll be quite a few things going on over the weekend besides the usual recruiting visits and recruiting commitments and decisions and more camp stuff. So a lot to talk about on Monday morning. So I definitely want to start setting the just the thought in mind that you'll get some type of Monday late morning, early afternoon video kind of recapping the weekend and looking ahead towards the following week and what have you. Of course, we will discuss news and what have you during this. I guess I don't know what we'll call it. I'll come up with some kind of goofy name for it, but just checking in and recapping some things that happened over the weekend. Certainly a big part of my weekend that I want to discuss is I was able to attend the Illinois High School Football Coaches Association Clinic at the University of Illinois in Champaign. The first time I'd ever been asked to appear, let alone speak to the coaches. So again, totally honored to be asked, flattered actually. And it was just, again, my complete honor to be down there. Got treated way too well by everyone, including several of the board members of the Coaches Association, guys that I've been friends with for a long time. And just a tremendous experience from my standpoint on a lot of different levels. So I'll walk you through. I'll give you some impressions. First of all, I got to give shout out to my new buddies. Not that they Frank Steele I've known for a long time. So and it's ironic. I'll get into Frank and I a little bit of a working relationship here, just a little. So Frank Steele was originally, I think, probably the original rep for Huddle, based out of based out in central southern Illinois, and so I had known Frank a little bit casually, and we just kind of talked a little bit over text and DM, and well, Frank keeps a tremendous spreadsheet with coaching changes, and I obviously keep my updated open coaching position list and keep track of that stuff as well. So Frank and I just kind of combined. Frank again has a great spreadsheet that keeps track of things, and I track them on my own. So I was able to get a hold of Frank, and now Frank just gives me access to go into a spreadsheet and add any changes, admissions, subtractions, what have you, to his running list. And Frank's been a huge help for me as well. Especially it seems like central and southern Illinois coaching changes. So it's been a nice combination. I think it's worked well for both of us. So Frank and I kind of get along and become friends on that aspect of it. And it was great to see him again over the weekend, along with a couple of the newer reps, I should say, Mitch, as well as Paige, who just had fun with them all Saturday. Great people. There's not much else to say about Huddle. I mean, it's the king. They rule. Someday, and I talked about this with those guys over Saturday, I would love to see something like NHFS get run out of business and have Huddle just flip a switch and let everybody stream their Huddle live. And man, what a network that would be, because I'm sure all of you realize that just the technology is so much better with Huddle. So again, if that's an open promotion and this is an open promotion, fine. Go out and get Huddle, because it's worth every damn cent. So there you go. But again, just again, props to them. And it was great to get to know Paige and Mitch and get to reconnect again with Frank Steele from Huddle. So again, just terrific people. Had a lot of fun with them on Saturday. So I thought I'd mention that. But again, it was at the University of Illinois. It was in their convention center in the I Hotel, which I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't even know was there until the so it's basically located just south of Assembly Hall, the basketball arena. So, obviously you have Memorial Stadium across the street, you have Assembly Hall. Further south from there is where you find the I Hotel and the convention center. And what a great setup. Actually, probably the best scenario and setup you could have for a convention like that. Big conference rooms, gigantic, spread out everywhere, plenty of room for everybody. But again, kind of a main hallway area where all the vendors set up, and it was a great congregation. I just thought the setup was great. The hotel was great. Had, again, compliments of the Coaches Association. Had a tremendous room. Just a really top-notch facility. And Illinois, University of Illinois did a great job of hosting it, and I can't stress that enough. And what I mean is, I've been to these type of things before, and I give the University of Illinois and Brett Bielema and his assistants a ton of credit because they were there for every single step of this convention. Thursday they welcomed everybody in and had kind of a meet and greet, and then the Illinois coaches put on their own kind of talk and discussion broken down by positions on Thursday. And then Friday was the quote unquote main convention. And then Saturday was an Illinois spring practice, followed by the Coaches Association Hall of Fame dinner and honors. So again, a full 3 days. But again, Illinois was there from the beginning all the way through the very end. Really impressed on Friday. The Illinois coaches were in sessions. Brett Bielema gave a great speech, and those assistant coaches were everywhere. They were there for everything. They were there as an entire staff for the Coaches Association at dinner on Friday after the clinic, and they talked to everybody. I mean, I talked to Pat Ryan. I talked to literally just about every assistant coach. Talked to Brett Bielema for a while. Coach Bielema talked with everybody. I mean, he worked, and those coaches worked that event really hard. Very welcoming, very open, and just huge kudos for the University of Illinois. And this is something we had talked about, and the coaches had talked about for years past, that there was no interaction with the Illinois coaches, very little, if any, interaction over previous years. So again, under Lovie Smith's staff in particular, Coach Associate not very happy, and I think after this weekend, they are very happy with Illinois again. And it's a great place to have it. It's a great setup. Thrilled that I got a chance to take part of it. And the feedback from the high school coaches is very, very happy to see how things have changed. And they're pretty confident. Wasn't a great crowd. They've had bigger crowds in the past, but I think that's a combination of things. I think, number one, with COVID finally starting to shake through, but still a little bit of a hangover there, I thought kept some of the coaches away. And then obviously some of the dissatisfaction that the coaches have had the last handful of years with Illinois and the coaches convention in general, just, kind of stale, not really being embraced like they thought they would. Believe me, the Coach Association and everyone there got first-class treatment the entire 3-day event. So I think word's going to spread, and you're going to see this thing grow again and see the overall numbers. And I think, again, most of the main speakers were the in-state schools, Western, Eastern, Illinois State, Southern, well represented. Nick Hill was there, gave a nice hour presentation. Nick spoke before I did. So it was a total honor to be introduced by Nick Hill, obviously the head coach of my alma mater, Saluki. So that was awesome. I thought, Brock Spack gave a great talk from Illinois State, and again, well represented. But I think next year you'll see an even larger group of coaches and probably a bigger overall event. I think that's kind of the goal of the Coaches Association, to continue to grow this. And believe me, with the setup and everything they have now for this event, I think it's got plenty of room to grow and get bigger and better. So again, kudos to the Coaches Association. So obviously had a lot of chance. I sat in on some talks. I thought one of the best discussions I sat in on was Alden Hebron, longtime head coach, now he's the AD, John Lawler, who's basically, along with the Nate Arbaugh, who Nate I've known for a long time, when going back to, God, he was at a couple of different stops. Champaign Central. It was a Champaign Central for a while. So I've known Nate and got to reconnect with Nate on over the coaches convention, and Coach Lawler gave a great talk about 8-man football and kind of their start and where they were and how they're growing and how it's going to change over the next couple of years, and kind of what's going on, that 8-man is in discussions with IHSA, and IHSA has shown more interest in possibly the time frame for when IHSA could end up taking over 8-man. And that is the goal. In case anyone was wondering, Coach Lawler kind of joked and said, hey, he can't wait to pass this thing off on the IHSA. So, but there's some interesting things going on with 8-man football, and I'm definitely going to get into it a little bit more. I think myself and good old buddy Matt Lang with the Third and Lang podcast, I think we're going to do a little bit more 8-man, and we're going to have Coach Lawler on and probably Nate Arbaugh as well, and at least give you, the casual fan, kind of what 8-man's all about and kind of the need for it and kind of where it's going to go and how it could grow in the future. That was another interesting discussion. So I really enjoyed that. And I sat in some other coach lectures as well, and just able to sit in and just kind of soak it all in, which was great. So again, some great discussions, a lot of talk about state final host. And I think most of the feedback I got was kind of what I had talked about in the earlier video. In case you missed that, go back to my YouTube page and it's there. I think the consensus thought is I think they all think the IHSA state finals are going back to Illinois State. Again, the feedback I receive from the Illinois coaches is that they're definitely going to place a bid for it. Now, whether the schedule allows them to host it, that's the big question. They couldn't answer that. But I think the thought is that the University of Illinois is definitely moving forward. They are definitely going to place a bid to continue to host the IHSA state final games. And we'll see. Maybe the IHSA does change their mind and they'll let a rotation. You know my thoughts on the rotation for hosting the state finals. I thought the rotation worked very well in a lot of different phases. So if that's a route they decide to go with, totally cool with that. So we'll see. But it's not going to be from the fact that Illinois doesn't want the state football finals. Boy, every indication, it was a very loud yes. They definitely want to hang on to the state football finals. And that'll make things interesting for sure over the next few months to see from a bidding standpoint. And again, but the big question is what happens with scheduling. And even Northern Illinois, and I had a chance to talk to some of the Northern coaches, really didn't get into it too much as far as the state finals, but it is something. I know Coach Hammock loves having the state football finals there. He wants them. So again, things that are going to be answered. You can probably hear my dog going nuts, the water delivery guys here. So those discussions will continue to go on. So that'll do it for now. I've got more coming up this week. Look for more. I'm going to dig in a little bit more recruiting and top list and what have you. So that's going to come out this week, and just a lot more coming your way. So have a great week, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.